Cosmic Shock, baby!
To purchase t-shirts and merchandise with my art on it, just click on the eye on the top right hand side of the screen and it will take you right to my shop. So another day at the gym. Another day, another workout. So here I am, and I'm going to do some bench press, some back, and I'm going to also do some shoulders and arms and a little bit of legs there. And yeah, I mean, I wanted to just basically do a whole body workout today and, you know, get back in the groove of doing that because it is one of my favorite ways to train and, you know, to get the pump everywhere, get everything moving, right? All the blood flowing. And, you know, I'm going to touch my chest today with a bar. A bench press is not usually what I do, but I'm doing it anyway just to prove to you grumpy ones, the grumpy guys out there watching, that I can do it. I'm sure there'll be something else that you'll find flawed with what I'm doing, but it doesn't matter. I have designed meditation music for you in case my workout stresses you out. So click on the top right-hand side of the screen and the top right hand corner, and you'll see that there's some meditation music available for you on iTunes, so you can just download that and just chill the hell out. So anyway, getting on to the workout here. I'm going to do some bench presses here. I do about 5 sets. You only see about 3 or 4 of them because I forgot to turn the camera on for a set or two. So this is kind of the risk of making YouTube videos, is sometimes you're trying to get footage at the same time as workout, and you think you press the record button and nope, no, I guess you didn't. So yeah, I get a good pump anyway, needless to say, so it's a good workout. So today I'm going to show you how many reps I can get with 225, touching my chest. And again, like I said, I'm still getting over that shoulder tweak that I had from a while ago. And yeah, it seems to be coming back pretty good. I'm actually having pretty good workouts and everything seems to be flowing in a decent way. I've actually changed my diet around just for fun lately too. I've been eating less starch. Not that starch is bad, but I just am enjoying eating salads with olive oil and chicken and stuff like that. So I'm eating more calories through fats and protein. So I thought it'd be good to take down the starch a bit, because I find if I combine fat and starch, then I just start getting you know, bloated, or I don't actually feel good when I'm in the gym. So I either do a moderately low fat diet or a moderately lower starch diet, and those are the two ways that I usually eat. And yeah, they seem to work really well. I find the one thing I like about the higher fat diet and lower carb diet, and carb is, I mean that really loosely, because I'll still have some table sugar here and there, and I'll still have fruit, and I'll still eat, you know, a meal of rice or something. So I'm not, you know, totally limiting myself. But what I'm doing is just focusing on more the fats, the greens, and the lean proteins of being my staple food. Okay. So yeah, when I'm doing this, I find that my blood sugar is more stable, and I find when I go to the gym, I have more energy. I'm not fighting the energy side of things, you know. So a lot of times when your energy goes up and down in the day, it could be a blood sugar thing because you're having so much starch and your body's trying to store it. So you can see my reps are going down quite a bit from the first set, and that's the whole point, is to really fatigue that muscle as much as possible, and you know, get that dead type feeling in the muscle, right? So it's forced to adapt. So it basically gets totally over inundated with work, and then it says, okay, that's it, I got to adapt to this and become better next time. You'll notice that I'm squiggling around on the bench a little bit. It's not because my bum is coming off, it's just that sometimes it's hard to find the groove with my right shoulder because of the dislocation injury. So sometimes finding the way my shoulder blades sit properly on the bench is a little tough because of the labral tear in the shoulder. So yeah, don't worry about that, and it's not something you're obligated to do in your own training. So yeah, like I said, we all got to find our own way, right? So here's a underhand pull down. So you'll notice I come up all the way as far as the shoulders go. Like that's as far up as my shoulders actually go. I mean, they can go up a little bit more if I straighten or lock out the arms, but the whole goal of this exercise for me is to keep the tension on the lats and on the back. So that's why I keep the arms slightly bent. I'm not looking to straighten them. I mean, I see this nightmare going on with people on the internet straightening their arms when they do chin-ups and stuff. And if you have a really healthy labrum in your shoulder, you'll be fine for a while, but at some point you will get golfer's elbow from that, or you will get some sort of tweak in the rotator cuff. You know, I don't have that luxury because I've already got a messed up rotator cuff from hockey, right? So the thing is that, see, I'm showing you there, I could straighten up a little bit more if I want, but it's not actually adding any more resistance on the back. I'm realizing that when I do go all the way up, I'm actually taking the resistance off the back and transferring it to sometimes the internal rotators or sometimes to the bicep itself, but I'm not actually getting more back work from it. So that's why you'll see that I don't lock out. I don't come all the way up. Now, I don't touch my chest either, and the reason why is because that's as far down as my arms come unless I start to rotate them in. If I rotate them in, then I'll be able to touch my chest with a bar, but my whole goal is to keep the tension on a muscle and to have it in its optimal torque curve. So if I start touching my chest, what happens is that I have to lighten the weight. And not only that, I have to start rotating my arms in, and by doing so, now the majority of the muscle mass in the middle of the movement doesn't actually even get a really good workout. It gets less of a workout because there's not as much tension, there's not as much weight on there, right? So it's about finding that ideal groove, you know, and each person, like I said, it's going to find a different ideal groove depending on how you're built and depending on, you know, where your strength and torque curves are, right? And sometimes your injury history plays a role in that, you know, so a lot of people don't like to talk about that, but the thing is that, you know, everybody that trains in this game for a period of time or does any sports, you're going to have certain injuries or certain things that are going on that will play a factor in how you move and how you need to exercise. So yeah, so as you're watching me do this, this is the method to my madness. So now I move over to rear delts, and I wanted to do some rear delts because, you know, after you do, you know, 4 or 5 sets of bench press, you know, you're getting a lot of front delt work anyway, and rear delts are usually the lacking, you know, body part on every bodybuilder or everybody even training. A lot of times the rear is the weak part, so you should probably spend at least 50% of the time working them anyway. So yeah, I've done a lot of side delt raises lately with my whole body workouts, or say if I do a half split, like do shoulders, tris, and legs in one day. So I decided to do you know, some rear delts today on the machine, and because I'm too lazy to bend over and lift the dumbbells, so sometimes it's nice to sit on the machine and have the constant tension with no momentum going. And again, this is, you know, up to you. I mean, I have the arms, you know, a little bit lower than shoulder width because I find I feel my delts much more like that. But some people have to raise it really high or low, but I really recommend, you know, experimenting and doing different ranges of motion and different heights, because you will find that it will hit different parts of your rotator cuff and different parts of your rear delt. And yeah, the whole point of this is to stimulate as many different types of muscle fibers as possible and different angles of attack, right? So here I am doing some bicep curls, and you know my favorite way to do them is to rotate the arms outwards, and you know this helps me really stimulate that bicep head, the main belly of the muscle, instead of actually the forearms and the brachii and all that kind of stuff. I really end up heading the main meat and potatoes of the bicep, and that's really how I built biceps, was I rotated out. And C.T. Fletcher does something called a T curl, or whatever, and it's kind of a similar sort of concept where you rotate the arms outwards, and it really does work. As long as you know, like I said, biomechanically you actually are built for it, you know, it doesn't hurt your shoulders or anything, but if you do it, it really does make a difference because it stretches that bicep. And it doesn't stretch it in a dangerous way. Like, it's not like you're stretching the bicep under an extreme range of motion at the bottom part of the movement, so you're not really, you know, in some sort of risk of tearing a bicep or a muscle or anything. And yeah, so this is my favorite movement. Here I'm going to show you a different angle just so you can kind of get an idea, a little bit more of a feel for what I'm doing, right? So yeah, I'm rotating the arms out, rotating them out, so that way I get that big meat and potatoes in there. And you know, ultimately, because of my bicep tear on my left arm, this is really the only way I can really feel a really good bicep workout without actually bringing in the forearm so much in the brachialis. And it has made a difference. My biceps have grown lately since I've been doing this again. So yeah, try it out and see how it works for you. And I do have a video where I kind of talk a little bit more about this at the end of this, and there's an annotation towards it where it says, you know, how to get big arms. It's just a thumbnail. You can click on there and watch that video. So here's a rope pulls. So I mean, overhead rope extensions. I like these because they're kind of like dumbbell incline extensions, except for the rope or the pulley has a little bit of a different type of tension on it, right? Because it's constant tension. It's not the same as with the dumbbell. You know, the torque curves change again. But this is one of my favorite movements because when the elbow is raised, you know, up higher, what happens is that it stretches the long head of the tricep, and then you get that constant tension on that tricep, you know. And it's different than, say, sitting straight up and down or vertical and then doing the dumbbell extension above your head. It's much different. It's a totally different movement, actually. So yeah, try this out. If you've never tried it out, and you'll notice that you get that constant pump and a constant stretch. And it really helps really break through barriers on your tricep development if your triceps are lacking. So this might have caused some confusion in some of you out there, but I'm not officially a member of the X-Men, so I just want to formally say that out loud. I am wearing a t-shirt, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm just wearing it because I'm a fan. So here I am. I move from you know, triceps onto walking lunges, and you notice that I'll, you know, do the double lunge where I step forward, do one lunge and then another one. The reason why is because this takes the momentum out of the workout. And I want to take the momentum, especially out of stretching type exercises, because when there's momentum, it's easy to pull something. And I've noticed that especially on walking lunges. So one way I've gotten around this, and also the square footage problem, I've gotten around that in a gym, is that I go up and down twice so I don't have to cover as much area, you know. So I went up to 70 pounders and I got one set in. And, you know, one set is not a big deal, but I had to get to work, so I just ran out of time. And that's one of the things when you film videos, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get your workout done because you're setting up the shots, making sure everything's in focus and all that sort of thing. So ultimately, though, one set does make a difference, because then the next day I come in and my legs feel just a little bit sore and a little bit of a burn in there, and it feels like there's a good mind-muscle connection, so they're kind of ready. So I can spend a little bit more time on the legs the next day and a little less time on chest maybe, but I still get the whole body workout in. You know, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.
No fucking tan, but you're leaving.
That's right, I was meant to be Irish. I'm an Irish native Indian.